All right, guys, injuries from the game. Ambry Thomas had an ankle. He'll be day-to-day. George Kittle had a toe. He'll be day-to-day. And that's it.
What's your plan as far as how you work these guys this week, and at what point do you install fully your game plan?
We had them in the day. They're still in right now. We're just finishing this game right now. We'll give them the next 2 days off, and then we'll start our practice week and game plan here Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So when the players come back after their 2 days off, which will be Thursday, we should have the game plan in by then.
Is that one of the things you learned from the last trip there, was to pretty much do all your main work here in Santa Clara before traveling to Vegas?
I mean, we did that last time too. We did it that way when I went to Atlanta. Growing up, all the teams that I've talked to, that's one of the most important things. When you wait to do stuff there, it just gets too hectic. So you can always change things and tighten it up, but you want to get most of your heavy work done before you get there.
Kyle, on the podium with Michael Shanahan last night, you said something to the effect of you've had unfinished business for a long time now. I'm wondering, how does it feel in terms of being back in the Super Bowl? Has it felt like it's been a long road, a short road, somewhere in between? Like, what has kind of this journey been like for you?
I mean, there's been a lot of good things, but the ultimate goal, I mean, we always say it, there's only one team happy at the end of the year, and we're real proud of a lot of things that we've accomplished here in the last 5 years or so, and we still want to be that one team that's happy. And no matter what you accomplish, if you don't win that Super Bowl, it's always disappointing. And I think that's really what I meant. We felt that we've gone close, and we're real proud that we're back in this situation. And but we also know how it feels when you don't get it done. So we want to go and make sure to get it done this year.
Along those lines, Kyle, have you kind of turned the page already after last night's win, or are you still kind of reveling in it a little bit?
I mean, I literally 5 minutes before I came in here, I just finished with the quarterback. So now I'm pretty much done with it. We got to finish that all today, go through it with the coaches, go through it with the players, and our guys are going to have some Super Bowl meetings for their families and everything with tickets and stuff like that here at about 4:30. So get all that stuff out of the way, because that can be extremely hectic if you don't handle your business here today and tomorrow. So yeah, we're done with the tape. It's really just hitting me now, but we're done with yesterday too. It's all time to move ahead.
Juwan Jennings' one-handed catch. With Juwan Jennings' one-handed catch on that third down, how much does that just exemplify what he means to this team and really how he has stepped up these last 2 weeks?
I think totally. I mean, just that type of catch, that type of play. I mean, almost any of the plays Juwan makes really shows you exactly how he is, whether it's a run play, a great catch going over the middle, and the way he gets hit and pops back up. I mean, Juwan plays with more heart and passion than anybody out there, and we feed off it, and I think everyone notices it.
Kyle, what were your main teaching points for Brock during your meeting with the quarterbacks?
We just go through each play. I mean, we can stay on one play forever, so there isn't really one main one. We talk about coverage, we talk about reads, everything, footwork, technique. So what you could see, what's on this look, but would take you to a different receiver based off of how he viewed it, and just it's really hard to answer that directly because we talk about everything, every play, so it never stops.
Kyle, you've had about 24 hours now to kind of digest Brandon's crazy catch yesterday. Have you ever coached in a game with a play like that, as impactful as that? And if not, have you had a chance to kind of process where that might stand in 49ers history, just given the magnitude of the moment?
I mean, I think it could. We got to finish the year out, but that was amazing. It was even the second or third play of the game when we threw him the slant and go. The corner was bailing, and usually when that happens, we like to say he's just chasing a ghost. And for him to dig out like that and make sure it wasn't a pick was huge. And then the next one was very similar, but he dug out and got a little bit closer to it, and be able to make that play was so big. I didn't think he was going to ever recover. Seemed like he was yelling at me the whole time to challenge it because he just knew that he scored. But I was told he didn't, so that's why I didn't. And I think they ended up touching him, but he ended up scoring 3 plays later. So it was awesome, and it was big of a play. I mean, BA made two huge plays on third down last week with 2 low throws that probably would not have been able to win without those 2 plays. And, when we were down in this game and it seemed like they were running away with it early, Brock made an off-schedule throw, and BA almost came down with another low catch and missed it. And that was a big one. And for him to come back and completely redeem himself and even more with one of the best catches I've ever seen in the biggest moments, we will all be hugely grateful for our whole lives.
Kyle, last time you were in the Super Bowl, you had 2 pretty one-sided playoff wins where you ran the ball 89 times. Is there any advantage to having 2 gut check games this time as you go in, or is each game just a separate entity?
I always think when you go through stuff like this, it hardens you and prepares you for any situation. I mean, you want to be able to go through tons of games and be able to win games any way possible. And I always feel we're capable of winning a game any way possible, but it just hasn't gone that way this year totally. We've been able to win a bunch of games pretty easily where that fourth quarter isn't so stressful, and the ones that we lost, usually you could see that happening earlier before that too. So to get in some games like this, it's just good experience for our players and to go through it and to make sure to see how important it is to go through all 4 quarters, win or lose, that you're never out of it.
Kyle, I know some teams bring in consultants heading into the Super Bowl. I think the Eagles did with Vic last year. Would you bring in a defensive consultant like one of these ex-head coaches that are out of work, like Belichick or Carroll or Vrabel or Rivera?
No, I haven't really thought about that yet, so I wouldn't say never, but not right now. I'm not thinking about it.
Kyle, you've had matchups with Andy Reid that have been challenging in the past. What makes him and his system so difficult to play against?
Andy's he's done it for so long and always had success going all the way back to Philly. And I was being in the NFC West when I was at Washington for 4 years. 3 of the 4 years we went against him. So he's always been so tough to go against, and just how he spreads it around, the formations. He's always changing and staying on top of stuff. And then you give him the type of quarterback that he has, and it's definitely not a coincidence on how many games they've won together and how they seem to be in the situation every year.
Kyle, I have an important question about Trent Williams' locker situation. He at one point was using 3 lockers. He's now down to 2. He has 2 nameplates. One says Silverback. He has a rope. And I'm sure you've seen it. I don't need to describe it all. Have you ever seen anything quite like this, and do you know kind of the origin of this?
To tell you the truth, I know it surprises you, but I actually haven't seen it. I walk by it a lot, but I haven't looked in there. Just like I don't look as hard into every little thing about injuries like a doctor or you would, I also don't with Trent's locker. But it doesn't surprise me. Trent's earned it. He's also a big guy. We don't give people mini lockers. He didn't ask, but I'm sure none of the players have a problem with it. Trent can get away with that.
I was going to follow up, and does that kind of speak to status and the respect that he has in the locker room? Because no one seems to begrudge him his.
No, Trent. I think Trent has as much respect not only from our locker room but also this league. I mean, people know how good Trent is, and they know how special of a player he is, and they know how physical he plays, the way he plays, and especially our own team, just with his age, how long he's done it, and still the level he does it at, and the way he carries himself. Trent's a good dude who's smart, handles everything right. There's no BS to him. Got as much respect that he's earned from playing, but also how he carries himself in our locker room as anyone on our team.
Kyle, when you watch 49ers play game in and game out, Brock's sack avoidance might be the least talked about trait that he has, but it's a skill that saved your offense on multiple occasions during the year. Do you remember when the first time you noticed that skill? And you can't really find out until he's in a game. And can you just talk about the importance of a QB needing to avoid a sack in today's game?
Yeah, I mean, the first time he got in the preseason, you could see him do it. And then I always go back to his first NFL game with Miami. He made some plays moving around when they were blitzing the heck out of him. It's so huge. I mean, you always want a guy who can sit there and get the ball to the right people every single time and find that hole in the defense and make those throws standing in there and being accurate. But that's not always the case, and sometimes it's impossible to get to number 3 without someone's beat and stuff like that. And when you do have a quarterback who's got a knack for when to do it, and he doesn't do it a ton and just give up on open plays, he's got a natural ability of when to give up on the play, when to make a guy miss, when to turn it off schedule, and no matter what happens, he gives you a chance. And everyone knows, everyone saw it, but those plays he made with his feet last night in the second half, that was a problem and for the defense. And they had some good coverages on, and he kept the chains moving and also found a way to get some explosives doing it too.
Are you seeing some a common denominator on some of the outside runs that the Packers and the Lions were running?
Yeah, we haven't done very well. It's been the common theme on them. But people are going to get the edge when they block down on the defensive end. I thought there was a couple ones. I mean, I thought we did better with the crack tosses. There was a reverse yesterday on the 4th play of the game, one that we do a lot, the one that we call dope. That's a really tough reverse to stop. They pull a guard, they block 2 people down, which will get the edge. You will pin the DN, which they got with Bosa. They'll block down on the next guy, and then they have a guy kick out, and then you need pursuit on the field. And that play was disappointing to me because I thought our pursuit was as bad as it's been all year. On both the 2 long runs, we did get the edge, not with the defensive end because they blocked down on him, but we get it with the next guy to turn it back. And when he turned it back, our pursuit wasn't there, and that was the biggest disappointing thing about both those touchdown runs.
On some of those plays, the DN seems to be crashing down automatically. Is that the proper way to handle that? Are they coached to do that on some of those plays, and on others they're kind of taking better care of the edge?
Yeah, it depends on which play because they're all different. But the reverse touchdown, it was a pulling guard with a fake away. And so it looks like it's a run away, and the tackle comes down. So you should be crashing down, and then you get the reverse to the wideout going the other way, so they turn back right into the pin block. The ones that immediately happen, they want to go at it, but they're still going to get pinned. I mean, the defensive ends, it's not defensive ends. When you crack down on that, you are getting outside. It's our force player. That could be a cloud. It could be a strong safety in 3 deep. There's different things you can do with that, but that's why there isn't one clean answer. It depends on the scheme, depends on offensively, and depends on the front and coverages you're playing. But for the most part, whoever is setting the edge, which it usually isn't the defensive end. Our defensive ends are setting the edge when people aren't blocking down. But it's our clouds, it's our safeties, and it's the pursuit of the backside. Because when someone does block down, that means someone's picked. And when someone's picked, everyone else can run over the top, and we just have gone creased too much, and we better figure out a way to fix it.
Hey, one more.
Hey, Kyle, 5 months ago when we were in Las Vegas, I don't recall many players talking about maybe setting up a goal of, or at least publicly talking about coming back for the Super Bowl. Did you guys go over that at all of, hey, let's get back here, this is the start of our long journey this season?
I can't exactly remember. I mean, I know every year we start, we know that's our goal. Every team usually talks that way. You always know when you have a true chance at that. And we feel we've had a chance really every year since 19. And so we try not to talk about it. Our biggest thing always we try to talk about is winning our games and our divisions so we can get in the tournament. And then we look to the next thing with the playoffs and trying to give us our best situation in the playoffs. And kind of one step at a time, we kind of hit all those goals this year. And we just hit our second to last one last night, and we got one left. And, we would have been disappointed if we didn't get to this point, and we're going to be disappointed if we don't finish the job in 2 weeks. So it's kind of how it goes in this league, and hopefully we'll end it the right way and take a few months off and do the same thing in training camp next year.